Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever found yourself wide awake at exactly 3 a.m.? Not 2:59, not 3:01, but 3 o'clock sharp. You're lying there, in the dark, in the silence. Your heart's not racing, nothing's chasing you, but suddenly you're awake. And not just once in a while, but over and over, almost like your body has an alarm set for that ungodly hour. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, if you're over 60, it's more common than you might think. And here's the strange part: when people talk about it, they don't just describe waking up. They talk about feeling watched, about feeling uneasy. Some even say they feel a presence in the room, though no one's there. Others feel nothing at all, just a blank stare into the ceiling, wondering, why is this happening? For decades, I brushed it off. I thought it was just one of those weird aging things. Maybe it's just because we go to bed earlier. Maybe it's just needing to use the bathroom. But then I started digging. I talked to sleep doctors. I read ancient texts. I asked spiritual healers. And what I discovered shocked me. There's more going on at 3 a.m. than you've ever been told. Your body, your brain, your soul, they're all trying to tell you something. And if you keep ignoring it, it doesn't just disrupt your sleep. It could affect your long-term health, your mental clarity, even your emotional peace. So, if you've been waking up at 3 a.m., especially after the age of 60, don't ignore it. Let me walk you through exactly what's happening and why it matters more than you think. Now let's go deeper. Because waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just some random glitch in your sleep pattern. It's your body and your mind trying to speak up. First, let's talk biology. As we age, our sleep becomes lighter. We lose deep sleep, the kind that keeps us truly rested. Our melatonin levels, that's the sleep hormone, naturally decrease after 50. That alone can cause us to wake up more frequently. But 3 a.m. is special. At around this hour, your body's core temperature begins to rise slightly. Your cortisol, the stress hormone, also starts increasing to prepare you to wake up. That's normal. But when cortisol spikes too early or too sharply, especially in seniors, it can jolt you awake. And guess what? High cortisol is usually tied to stress, anxiety, or even suppressed emotions you haven't processed. Are you worried about your health, your finances, your family, your purpose? Even if you don't consciously think about it during the day, your subconscious does. And at 3 a.m., when the world is still and your mind is unguarded, those unspoken thoughts can knock on the door of your awareness. That's why many people say they wake up with a sudden thought, a strange fear, or a memory they hadn't considered in years. Now let's look at the body clock, the one ancient Chinese medicine calls the organ clock. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is the time your lungs are most active. Emotionally, the lungs are associated with grief. Have you been holding on to sadness? Has something been left unsaid or unfelt? That too can surface in your body as sleep interruption. And here's another big one: blood sugar. As we get older, our blood sugar regulation gets weaker. If you eat dinner too early or have a carb-heavy meal, your glucose may crash in the middle of the night. That sudden drop can trigger adrenaline, which in turn wakes you up wide-eyed, alert, and confused. Ever notice how sometimes your heart is beating a little faster at 3 a.m., even if nothing bad is happening? That's your body reacting to a chemical imbalance, not a nightmare. But that reaction still carries emotional weight, because at that hour, in the darkness, even the smallest sensation feels magnified. One small flutter in the chest feels like a warning sign. One little worry becomes a spiral. And suddenly, sleep feels a million miles away. But here's what no one tells you. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just about fixing a sleep issue. It's about listening. Your body is whispering. Your mind is opening. Your soul might even be nudging you. The key is not to panic, but to pay attention. What were you dreaming about before you woke? What thoughts came into your head as you opened your eyes? Was it someone's face? A decision you've been avoiding? A feeling you've buried? These moments are not random. They are messages. And when you're over 60, these messages become louder because your inner world is shifting. You've lived through decades of life. Your brain carries thousands of stories. And sometimes, in the quietest part of the night, those stories ask to be heard. That's why waking up at 3 a.m. is not a curse. It's a call. And if you keep ignoring it, it keeps coming back. Louder, sharper, more persistent. But here's the good news. There are things you can do, and not just sleeping pills or breathing exercises. I'm talking about small, meaningful shifts that reconnect you to your body, calm your mind, and allow your soul to rest again. So what do you do when you wake up again tonight at 3 a.m.? You lie there, staring into the ceiling, feeling the quiet pressing in on you. Do you turn on the television? Check your phone? Toss and turn and beg for sleep to return? I want to offer you something different, something more gentle, more powerful. The first step is to stop fearing the 3 a.m. moment. Don't treat it like a punishment. Instead, meet it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Not what you're thinking, but feeling. Is it sadness, worry, emptiness? Is your chest tight? Is your jaw clenched? Is your mind racing? By simply becoming aware without judgment, you begin to calm the nervous system. The body says, finally, they're listening. The second step is to breathe intentionally. Not forced meditation, just natural, slow breaths. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. That alone resets your parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for rest and digestion. Often, within a few rounds, you'll feel your body soften. But here's where the real shift happens. The third step. Ask the silence a question. Something as simple as, what is trying to get my attention right now? Then wait. Don't overthink it. Don't force answers. Just listen. Sometimes a memory will surface, sometimes a name. Sometimes nothing but a sense of peace. That's okay. The point is to open the door to inner awareness, not to force a solution. And if you need to, keep a notebook by your bed. Write down what you feel. You'll be amazed at what patterns begin to emerge. Now, beyond the night itself, there are things you can do during the day that will make a difference. Don't eat too late or too heavy, especially carbs close to bedtime. Try to finish dinner at least 3 hours before sleep. Cut down on alcohol and sugar, which both spike and crash your blood sugar. Disrupting deep rest. Get morning sunlight. Yes, even if you're tired. That early light resets your circadian rhythm and helps balance your melatonin at night, and most importantly, create a small evening ritual. Not scrolling your phone, not watching the news, but something calming. A cup of herbal tea, a warm bath, a quiet prayer, a few minutes of gentle stretching. Teach your body that night is a time to slow down, not ramp up. Because here's what I've learned after all these years. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a mistake. It's a mirror. A mirror reflecting your emotional state, your physical needs, your unspoken thoughts. And after 60, your body doesn't lie. It doesn't have time to play games. It tells the truth directly. The question is, are you willing to listen? The truth is, you're not broken. You're not weak. You're not losing your mind. You're awakening in more ways than one. That moment at 3 a.m., that moment when everything is still, might be the most honest part of your entire day. It's the time your soul whispers things your busy life keeps drowning out. So next time it happens, don't panic. Don't scroll. Don't distract. Instead, breathe. listen, and say to yourself, maybe I needed this moment. Because sometimes it's in the darkest, quietest hour that the light within you finally speaks.